All right, what is going on, guys? Wow. That's honestly, that's all I've got to say. I was amazed at this last game.
It was
With
close.
the
It was
net.
crazy.
Crazy game, ladies and gentlemen, as Taco introduces. Listen, we're gonna be doing our best to do some coverage on the NBA playoff bubble situation. That game was crazy that the Blazers just showed up. So definitely make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate the support, and come back to get some coverage. So, what do you
Yeah.
guys think? I mean, after watching a game like that with the Blazers really for me, I'm gonna give you guys mine because I normally don't. I really leave you guys up to that debate, but I'm giving you what I feel like I've seen and witnessed at least in this playoff play-in. And for me, the Blazers, Dame has been playing out of this world basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think they play enough defense. I mean, they really struggled in this game with the Nets with getting rebounds, even though I felt like they had some bigger guys. But
Yeah.
Dame's been playing out of this world. Melo's got to play better, even though he's been like
He.
good. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you there. He has been playing better. He had like a couple of 20-point games.
Yeah,
He's
If
been
you get
shooting
that, if you get
50%
that
from
from
three.
Melo, it's like I said, they've been hard. But again, Dame has been crazy. But we've seen this from Dame before. Like he felt this.
All
He felt
season, though. All
Dame,
season, he's been on another level. I had him in
right.
fantasy. He's been a
And-
top 5 player all year.
Yeah, and then the disrespecting with the Clippers, like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's all the little. That's a little motivation you need.
That's
to give
it.
anyone, someone like Dame, that's all you need to click them, to take them
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
basically, the only thing is, though, he's scoring 51, 60, and he's just winning these games. When, later on with Steve, we're going to talk about the playoffs, but Steve is talking about winning the Lakers. If he's scoring this to just beat other teams that are not the Lakers,
Right.
what does he have to do to
I
beat
agree.
the Lakers?
I think that when I was watching this game, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like they were trapping him up court, like they were saying that, like that college.
They took him out like Nets couldn't take out Levert. Well, I
Yep.
mean, like Portland should have taken out Levert, but they didn't.
Yep.
So basically, that's what Brooklyn did. So okay, Dame is not going to beat us. Someone else beat us. That's it. And again, if they're doing that, what do you think other teams are going to do? All I'm saying to you is it's taken Dame out of this world to win games that is not against the Lakers. I told Steve at some point he's gonna run out. It's just natural. It's you saw it here. The Nets are a young, scrappy team, but Portland should have won.
Hold on. Before we start talking about that, the Nets in the bubble have been one of the most impressive teams, bar none.
Impressed by them too. I was so impressed by them.
The coaching staff there with the Nets have had this team playing way better than anyone could expect. So, I mean, I think that the Blazers maybe overlooked them, and the Nets.
No, Portland. No, don't
they
start
did
that.
not.
Dame at the end said,
yeah, if you watch his
knew, and I actually believe him more. Like after he said that, I go, you know what? He's right. Nets were like focused this whole time in the bubble. They were facing a scrappy team. Mm-hmm. Dame knew it. That's why at the end he felt relieved because he knew this was going to be a fight.
He said it, and as Ricky to back up Ricky, I mean,
but again, if it's taking this all the other games for this to win, and you're not even facing the number one team.
But he didn't score 60 versus the Nets.
Again, but he scored.
He's been going off versus the Clippers versus he's been going off versus everybody. The game versus Boston was insane. Like what he did in the Boston game was just like, and Boston is one of the top contenders for this title. You know, you put him in the top 6.
It's still not the Lakers. It's still not LeBron. It's
not.
Right. But look, what are you saying?
No, and I just think that at the end of the day, like, I mean, I'm with Ricky on that point because you got to prove it to me, you know. I mean, and I know Dame can. I'm not saying
Dame can. And we still haven't even talked about how he still has to face the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Who are a young, scrappy team. Again, I don't think the Grizzlies. I picked them to keep the 8th. I still, right now, do not think
By the way,
going to beat Portland.
to throw in a little side note on everything we're talking about, right? As we did our first, before the play-in, before this 8-game run that the Suns were on, we had a discussion about this very same situation and about who really, Ricky, you broke it down for us as to who the play-in teams would be. And I put in a bet that day, and that bet was on futures for all those teams.
Okay.
The Suns at that point were 1,500 to 1. I checked them today. Of course, they're out. They're out now. But when you look at what they had to do to overcome those odds, that looked like a crazy bet. And what's $2, right? To win possibly.
They were what, 8-0?
Yeah, they won 8-0.
Yeah, they won 8-0. Like, you know what? And Shaq said on TV doing that, like, he goes, listen, any team here could win 8 in a row here in this setting.
I agree.
He said there's
no home court now.
It's a tournament. It's an ACU.
Absolutely.
He's like, that's what this is. You're in a different vibe. It's a different.
Absolutely.
He goes, anyone can win 8-0. It's not It's nothing crazy.
This to me is the closest the NBA will ever be to like a March Madness type scenario.
Sure.
Because it's like there's no fans. Everyone's staying on the same campus. Like they're staying in the same hotels. Like there's rumors that what is it? The Rockets and the Thunder are in the same hotel on the same floor, and they're playing each other in the first round. Like, can you imagine being on the elevator looking at a guy that gave you a nice little elbow in a game that you lost? Like, how is that going to work?
And that's another interesting factor. Yep. Going into these playoffs is the matchups. Some of the matchups is Houston Thunder, CP going back, same his old team. Again, I think Houston
Russ
wins,
is out
but I think Thunder
Mm-hmm.
gives them a run for their money. Maybe 2 games. I think. I don't know if Thunder can win 3 or 4. I mean, or make it to 7.
Yeah, and I really just to have are we addressing that comment? DJ Khaled. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. We see you, buddy. We appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, and I said that side note on the bets because I think, as we were analyzing this play-in, and I know they had to win the chip on that futures bet, but even the Blazers, they were 150 to 1 odds. Even the Nuggets, they were 50 to 1 odds. So all those little future bets as we make some of these analysis and break some of these things down, you guys might want to consider looking at some of those bets, because we'll be giving you some thoughts on our bets and our picks. And listen, you may not hit all of them, but it's $2, right? Why not?
Two teams that I'm looking at that I want to see what the odds are. One would be the TrailBlazers because they're going to go against the Lakers to start off with.
They're 20 to 1 now. I saw them today.
That's pretty good.
What are they?
20 to 1 odds.
If they end up beating the Lakers, they have a very great shot to win the title. Like, because the Lakers are the top team.
Lakers, though.
You're right. But we're saying
we got to see. Look, they got to beat the Grizzlies because if they have to play an extra pressure game, you're just draining yourself out more and more for the Lakers because they're going to be ready, healthy. Sure. I know they've been playing bad in the bubble, but I'll be honest with you, they had nothing to play for.
They don't.
For them, it's just getting their stamina, everything back, all the little kinks out. To me, that's how I feel, and that's all they're really doing. Make sure everyone gets healthy and is ready for the playoff run.
So that's really to just kick it back here to you too, Taco. So you're sticking to your guns and saying that you think the Blazers are going to beat the Lakers, or that they're just going to push them 7?
I think that they can push them 7 and possibly win with the way that they've been playing. I think that Dame is extra motivated, and I think that they create matchup problems for the Lakers because I don't see the Lakers being great at defending the guard position. And when you have guys like CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard that can go out there and create their own shot, it creates a matchup nightmare for them.
But they went cold, man. Like tonight, there was a lot of guys that were missing shots.
And they still scored like 140.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
So, like, they shoot a lot of threes. And Gary Trent has been really hot in the bubble.
He honestly, he missed a lot of open threes towards the end. And I think late game clutch shots are important. And obviously.
But you know what? I think that could also be nerves. Like, this game had to give them some nerves. Like, I don't think if you're up at halftime coming in.
The Lakers is going to feel like that every game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. And again, they still have to face the Grizzlies.
Mhm.
Yep.
Again, the Lakers. I think Steve is getting way his head. Portland is good,
Yes.
really great. And when you have someone as great as Dame, but
Yep.
again, you're.
I mean, they're hot. That's the one thing you want to be going into the playoffs.
Again,
they're hot.
but at some point, your body gets run down. You're going.
Sure. But he was just off for like how many months?
Look, to me, you say 7 games. To me, there's a better shot of them getting swept than them going to 7 games.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
I'll do this. I'll put $20 that they win over 2 games.
Yeah, you said 2. So they have to win 3 games.
So if they win 2,
we already made that bet.
Yeah, well, we were doing it live on the air. Live, yeah, like I said.
So, yes,
if they win 2, I think it should be a push. Under 2, you win. Over 2, I win. Because I'm saying over 2.
Right.
They're over 2. Okay, so 2 is a push.
So you're saying that they're going to win at least 3 games?
Right.
Yeah.
He's saying they're going to game 7.
Yeah. I think they're going to game 7.
I mean, he really wants to say they're going to win.
I know.
That's crazy. That's jumping out the window. That's jumping out the window. I know that. But I'm trying to hold my passion for Dame Lillard in as much as I can.
I'm not gonna say that you're crazy like that.
I hate that Chuck is coming out here and mirroring me.
Winning 3 games after playing this again, they're gonna play the Grizzlies on Saturday.
Yep.
Again, I think they're gonna win, but let's say they lose. Now they're in a pressure situation on Sunday.
Yeah.
Even if they win that game, and then all of a sudden now you're facing the Lakers. What, 2 days later?
Yep.
Again. It's a lot to ask. You're asking Dame to be that great all this time.
All right, so I got a question for you guys then. All right, let's just say the LA is out of it. I'm saying Clippers and Lakers. Both of those teams are out of it. They both got eliminated for some reason or another.
Right.
Who do you have winning the title if it's not LA?
Well, we said the dark. We gave our.
Well, now that we've seen the bubble, we've gone through the games.
Oh no! If to me, if it's not the Lakers
or the Clippers,
I think Houston is the one that eliminated one of those.
Even though Houston is going to be missing Westbrook to start that series versus the Thunder.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think the Thunder might sneak in there. I think the
Thunder might.
No, I said the Thunder. The
Thunder have been playing good.
Games. I don't think they win. I think they win a couple games. But you're right. I forgot about Westbrook.
I think CP3 and Dame are the guys that are most motivated in this bubble to prove out a lot of things. The number one, they've been saying CP3 with that monster contract, he was done.
Yeah, but again, you're talking about Harden, who's if you're talking about Dame
by himself,
Harden is a beast. Harden can win games by himself.
So you would still take Houston over the Thunder, even with no Westbrook.
I don't.
Yes, I think Harden. I think Harden still wills himself to.
That's a hard sell for me.
He's not missing the whole series, is he? He's missing what, 1-2 games?
He has a quad injury, so he's missing the start. So that you're starting in the hole.
I think Westbrook, they're being cautious. I think he
misses
the most at 2 games, and I think Harden out of those 2 games could win easily both, almost definitely one of them. So if he's
you think they're gonna go at least 1-1 without Harden?
At least without Harden, without Westbrook, they go 1-1.
Yes. I think that they win. The Rockets win. The Thunder win in 6. My opinion.
Oh yeah, no, upset. No.
That's what
the Thunder look really good from what I've seen between Shea and Chris Paul. But
he's taking bets.
I mean, that's an interesting one. But you would have Houston.
I'm gonna make that bet.
You would have Houston though as the team if you didn't have those 2 top teams as the team that would be
I think you
yes. If Lakers and Clippers don't make it to the finals, it's because Houston eliminated because they have to face each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's second round. It would be the Clippers. And then after that, they would go into the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. They have to. Houston would eliminate that. That would be the only people. I think Thunder's not eliminating them. Let's say you guys say Thunder beats Houston. Okay, they're not eliminating the Clippers. They're not eliminating the Lakers.
Okay. Yeah. So then, Dave, who do you have? Ricky has the Rockets as a non-LA team that's winning this. Who do you have?
And coming out of the West, or you're just saying overall?
In general, like if it's not the 2 LA teams, who's going to win that chip?
It's a tough one for me. I mean, if it's not the LA teams, because really I think the Lakers are going to win. If the Lakers, let's say for any reason, get bounced, then everything I think gets thrown out. If the Clippers get bounced, then everything I think gets thrown out. So let's say those two guys are not in the equation.
Yep.
Then I'm probably going to go Milwaukee. I think that Milwaukee is probably going to come in there. Giannis, I mean, that team is ready to win a chip. I think that's just.
I would say the same thing again, but I just think once you beat the Clippers and Lakers to get to the finals, that is showing a lot. That you had to do something there to beat those.
Exactly. That's true. You know what? That's a great point.
I think to me, that means Harden and Westbrook are playing out of their minds. We said it before in this cast. That's the only way they're going to win, as if Harden keeps playing like Harden and Westbrook keeps doing. Because there's no way they could beat them without this. They have to do what Dame's doing and more probably just to get through.
I mean, I would love to see the Blazers in the chip. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if they, I would love to see.
Just because I love Dame.
All love Dame. Everyone loves Dame.
I love Dame. I mean, he's just an amazing player. Tremendous heart. Yeah. The way he carries himself.
He's just normal.
Yeah,
and you can tell nothing fake.
I feel like he's a much more relatable player for me. A lot of these guys feel out of this world. And Dame, don't get me wrong, they call him Dame Dollar for a reason. I mean, the man's a super duper.
But he doesn't talk like that. That's
exactly,
not his MO.
Exactly. And I love that about him. I mean, I just told the wife today I'm getting a Dame jersey. Because I'm a Knick fan. But I think players like that are exciting for the league. Are what we need more of. Enough with the LeBrons. Enough with those type of players. There's only one of the LeBrons, right? So I don't know. I think that I love.
Well, to that point, Dame for the first time is going to be on the NBA 2K21 cover. So he's now a cover athlete for the first time.
That's good for him.
Yeah, he's really, I feel like, starting to come into his own. But
he's been here. He's just important.
No, I mean, coming into his own as far as like the league recognizing his greatness because he missed a lot of all-star teams. There's a lot of all-star teams where Dame Lillard should have been on there and he wasn't. So,
but again, he's in. I think a lot has to do. He's in Portland, and it's just no one recognizes. No one's.
Well, now that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking now people are there. And after what he did last year, what he's done in the bubble, I think now people are there with Dame. They put him up there. But the one team that I really love that you guys didn't touch on, that I think if it wasn't the Lakers or could beat the Lakers or the Clippers, and that's the Nuggets. The Nuggets are looking great in the bubble. And the one guy that they drafted 2 years ago that a lot of Knicks fans were sad about, Michael Porter Jr., looks like a stud. So far, he's only played a short sample size. We have to see how he holds up over the long period of time. But this kid was a highly touted prospect coming out of high school. He would have been one of the top 5 picks in the 2018 draft if he wasn't hurt with his back injury. And you put him with Jokic and Murray, that's a scary team.
Well, I agree. But again, with Porter, I think everyone, when we were talking, chatting in the draft, everyone said the same thing. It's just a risk, the injury. But if you pick him and he hits, he's going to hit.
He's going to be.
It's going to be a steal and a half.
It's like a Kevin Durant player,
and that's what happened. And Denver was smart because Denver goes, "Hey, we have a team. We can wait him. We can wait a while for. We can wait a year for him."
They're scary. Yeah. And if Porter gets hot and Jokic is doing what he's doing,
and they got Bobo.
And they got Bobo, and then you have some of the other guys that are there. I think Murray is underrated. I think Jokic is a top 10 player, and I think that Porter Jr., if he's healthy and he has something to prove, he might show up in the playoffs. And people are he's a big X factor.
Murray's underrated. He's underrated. Also, I also believe they're just healthy. They were not healthy. People were sick. They were not all together. They're healthy. I love the Nuggets.
That's going to be a great series, though. The last game between the Jazz and the Nuggets went to overtime, and you were seeing Donovan Mitchell going off, and then you were seeing the Nuggets go off. I think that's going to be a great series.
That's a good series. Both are healthy. What's also going to be interesting is Clippers Mavericks. Even though people think Clippers are just going to go away, run away with it. listen, I don't think the Mavericks are going to beat the Clippers.
I don't think so.
If they win 2, that's asking a lot. Maybe they win 1 the way KP and Luka are playing. But to me, again, that's just interesting because Luka's his first playoff appearance. KP's as well.
And so is KP. Yep.
No one likes KP. We all hate KP.
I'm sorry. Nobody. I burned my
You
shirt.
know what we want to say here. We're not going to say it. But Luka, to watch Luka in his first playoff with KP, it's interesting. I think I always loved Dallas's coach.
Listen, KP wanted out of New York. Is it bad that I wish him not to win with the Dallas Mavericks?
No, he can win this year. Next year, they
got to suck. Yeah, I agree. Because the Knicks get that pick, and we get it unprotected. Unprotected. So if they end up getting the number 1 pick, we get that pick.
But that's different. But that's a good series. That's a good series. And just to see Kawhi back in the playoffs, see how they're going to manage him. Because I believe they're going to manage him here with time. Not that, they're just going to make sure that they're not going too crazy with him yet. In this series, I think they know they could beat him pretty easily.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I agree. I mean, to wrap that one up, really, I think what we wanted to give you guys was we had to hop on, after seeing really Dame Dollar just go in. And really,
and Brooklyn to play really well. All
I will tell you that I'm impressed from Brooklyn because who knows what that team's going to look like when the 2 main guys are back.
And they just say Brooklyn lost everybody.
Yes,
DeAndre Jordan didn't come back. Dwindy didn't come back. Wilson Chandler didn't come back. Who was the other person? There was one more, I think.
I think Crawford came in and was hurt. They had a
he was like a substitute something. I don't remember.
And he got hurt once he came in. The Nets were basically using a mash unit with a replacement coach, and they played their ass off.
So that's, just really why we wanted to hop on. We've been trying to cover as much as possible the play-in. We really did.
Now the playoffs are here. Now the playoffs are here. And now we're really going to start going in with some basketball because there's some good matchups.
And the East is going to be Bucks, Magic. Again, that's probably going to be sweet.
Yep.
Raptors, Nets. That is going to be interesting the way Nets have been playing.
Yep.
Raptors also been playing really well.
Yes, they have.
They've been kind of saying, hey, we're still champions.
They're sneaky.
Yeah, we lost Kawhi, but we're here.
I think they could beat the Bucks.
Siakam is,
yep. Yeah. Siakam.
So,
and Van Vliet. Van Vliet is on fire.
Yeah. So really, guys, just come back and check us out for that. I know, we try to give you guys a little bit of that, and we're definitely going to give you some playoff basketball coverage. Let's enjoy this game, I think, and
get ready for playoffs.
We'll talk about that if you guys think that they should keep it or not. But come back, stay tuned, and let's see it play out before we give you guys that.
Oh yeah, this Saturday is going to be a great sports day because at 2:30 we're going to have the Blazers facing the Grizzlies. That's the first part of the play-in. And then at 8, we're going to have one of the biggest main events that we're going to see all year. We got Stipe versus DC. We have a bonus Fight Night exclusive coming Friday where we're going to have all the picks coming up with the Vegas Snake guys breaking down how Stipe is going to put that work in his DC. But, that's just a little preview that I'm giving. So don't forget to smash that like button, hit the share button, get ready for the playoffs that are coming, get ready for the big fight that's coming. And Friday, we're going to get you ready with the fight. Saturday, we're going to come to you with the playoffs. We look forward to seeing you guys later. Ricky, anything to close out with the guys?
No, definitely check out tomorrow. Steve at the Taco with Steve and Dave are going to be on tomorrow.
For sure.
Great. Every Friday night, fight night.
Absolutely.
We're going to start talking about boxing soon. Take care.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.